Venezuelans are wondering whether these talks can resolve the country's current political crisis. Earlier, I discussed the situation with Eric Farnsworth, who is the Vice President of the Council of the Americas and America's Society.
It's the key question, and in fact, it's probably just hope that people in Venezuela have right now, but that's no guarantee of success. The problem is you have two fundamentally different sides asking things. Common ground, they are not readily apparent right now, and the question is, are the mediators willing to actually impose something, and I'm not sure that they're able to do that.
And the other interesting thing is you don't even have the opposition in agreement, because some of the members of the opposition didn't want any part of this.
Well, that's absolutely true. Some of them are in jail. They did want part of it, but they can't participate. Others didn't want to participate while their colleagues are in jail, and some just take a different view. Some are more moderate, some are more radical. So you do have a divided opposition that's also contributing.
Some of the issues that came up at Truth Commission, maybe we can just kind of tick off them, and you can kind of tell me how likely you think these are. What about a Truth Commission? That's one of the issues.
Well, I think the question there is, what is their mandate? What are they actually trying to achieve? What are they trying to find out? And the broader the mandate is, the less likely it's actually going to be achieved, because everybody's going to try to protect themselves.
The disarmament of pro-government motorcycle groups.
That's almost unlikeliest of all, because these are the folks that the government has relied on, really, as their enforcers in many ways to do the dirty work, and they find them convenient.
And then, of course, Maduro is claiming that the opposition is kind of working in concert with the United States to try and overthrow his government. What about his kind of argument coming from the other side?
Well, that's clearly something that he's been trying to portray, but we have to remember the protests began not in some coordinated way, certainly not at the request or behest of some foreign power, but by students who were protesting the rape of a colleague in the western part of the country, and that ballooned because of an over-aggressive government response. And so, in fact, the formal opposition, if you want to put it that way, wasn't even involved at the very beginning. So there was nothing about overthrowing government. There was nothing about foreign governments. It's become more formalized. The opposition has stepped in, but I think that they're not really doing it at the request of anybody except themselves.
And a couple of the issues that have driven people out into the streets: soaring crime rate and also soaring inflation. And this is something that this government has struggled with even under Chavez. But Maduro doesn't have the personality, the larger-than-life personality of Chavez. Is that an issue?
It's a huge issue. When things got bad during the Chavez years, he was able to, because of his own political skill, because of his personality, because of his knowledge of how Venezuela worked, he was able to calm things down, create political space to allow people to blow off steam. And that's something that President Maduro and his government really haven't been able to do. In fact, they've hardened their positions in a way that in some ways has radicalized the opposition. So you do have different individuals, and that's quite clearly been a difference.
What are we to deduce from what you just said and these talks? I mean, where does this government go? How does it kind of wrestle with this issue? And how do you see this country maybe a year from now?
Well, that's a really tough question to ask, because if you look at where we were just a year ago, President Maduro was just being elected, and many people were predicting a better economy, better relations with the United States, economy that was kind of finding its sea legs after a period of uncertainty. In fact, it's gone the opposite direction. So it's unclear where we're going to be a year from now, but I think that most observers would say that the path back is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be, it's going to take longer term. And the reason why is because you need a national effort now to restore Venezuela's economy. The situation is so polarized that it's going to be really difficult to get the various sectors working together in a way that they need to restore Venezuela's economy for the longer term.
Eric Farnsworth, always a delight. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.